Okay, I am Hélène Lacharmoise and I am the director of the Galerie Dix9 in Paris, which is a gallery of contemporary art, not specialized in photography. Although I have photographs, and this is the reason why I am in photo basel, but my photographs are not really normal, usual photography as you see in other booths, because they are more plastic photography. For instance, here I am presenting an artist from Düsseldorf. He studied with Thomas Roof and Christopher Williams, and of course he studied photography during 5 years in the academy in Düsseldorf, but he questions the medium photo, and most of the time he starts with existing images like paintings or press photo or Polaroid or slides, and here this is the case of slides. So these are slides that he found on internet that he bought, and they were used for illustrate art history audience. So this is why they represent an artwork, but the artist is interested in the medium itself, the slide. So all the information which are besides and that can reveal the layers of time and the way they produce the work. He never touched the image, so for instance when there are some dots and when the scratch on the photo, he never erased them because it's part of the history of the object slide. So of course you have the image, but you have also all the legend, so you know what is the works coming from. What else I could say? So usually you have some mark in the photo, and you may have a how you call that, arrow that indicate how to put the slide in the projector to have it right, and the artist decided to keep this size for the final work. So most of the time you see the head is upside down. Another thing that you can see when it's very enlarged like it is, because it could be 2 meters by 2 meters, is that those slides were made from not from the original artwork, but it was shot from a book, a magazine. This is why it's quite pixelized. And so here you have some, he made series, so you have different artworks represented in the slide. In another place, he made a series when he was in residency in Israel, and he finds some very, very small pictures that were in the shop window, and maybe they stay a long time because they were burned by the sun. So by enlargement of those pictures, because now they are 2 meters high, you see how the photo emulsion is peeling. So sometimes you see the white place of the photo, which means this is just the paper because there is no more photo, and you have also the blue, because probably those pictures were in color, but just the blue stay over the time, and so you have to see them from far away to have the distance and see how it's wonderful, beautiful work. I show also a Colombian artist who is not a photographer, but she uses photography, and she tries to reveal the time. So she considers the time like archaeologists, which is a time vertical, like stratification. And she made a parallel with textile, because textile is made with threads vertical and thread horizontal. So when she take a photo of an old building, because this is what interests her, she printed in fabric, and then she unveiled unwaved, I mean, partly a piece of the veil, and so she let the time appear, you know, with the vertical threads. And this, for instance, this is a photo of the old train station in Bogota, which is no use anymore because there is no train in Colombia anymore. And she always makes some unique piece, and this one, for instance, is stay with the slate stone on the top with just 2 nails that you put in the wall and you just go down. And she made also sculpture, because all the work she made with photography are in a sculptural gesture. So these 3 sculptures were made in Georgia, where she had a residency, and she was in a career. She shot, you know, the rocks and the river, and she mounted those photographs on brass. And then she put some mortar on the bottom of the sculpture so that they stay by themselves on the floor. And when you have the installation of the 3, it's like if the river makes the sculpture, you know, the path. I have also works from the current exhibition I have at the gallery, which is an artist, French artist called Vincent Lemaire, and he used to make a lot of experimentation with photography. He makes photogram, he makes silver print, and he recently made an installation called Pendrillon. Pendrillon, it means the curtain that separates the scene in a theater from the stage and the backstage. And because he plays between reality and fiction, you can see some real landscape somewhere, but you can see also some false landscape, like on the carton. This is a false landscape which is in a zoo in Paris, you know, and this is not a real landscape because it's a real mountain, because it's in concrete, you know, for the zoo. And sometimes he used also to take some shots from video games where you have some landscape very precise, like here, you know, this is a shot from a video games. And he also make composition with, so here you have a real landscape, you have a video landscape, and he also went to the MoMA a few years ago, where there was an exhibition of the painter Riemann, and he was interested in him because he works really about light. And so he made a composition with some Riemann paintings, the video games, and the landscape. And here you have some photograms with broken neon, and here it remembers it's something you find in the works in the street. It's red and white panels to tell people, be careful, don't go further. And he makes photograms with them, and it remembers him the first tries at the Renaissance, when they tried to make the perspective, so with geometric patterns.